And we should be live, in theory. In theory, we should be live. Let me see. Hi, YokoTube. How's your day going? Hello, Jesse Smith. How is everybody's days going? Gabe, Type 1 Weeb. So, as the title says, we're gonna be doing some power scaling for the series that I made, like What If Boros Turned Good. I'm gonna do only these characters, because I think they're like the most important ones for comparisons. But before that, I'm gonna do finish this part's ranking real quick to give people more time to join. Didn't expect a stream today. Yeah, that's fair. The thing is, when I schedule streams, for some reason my streaming software doesn't connect to the like scheduled stream. I have to restart every time, so it's kind of tedious. Epic, hey there everyone, hey there random person. My day is well so far, that's good to hear. Decent, swaggy, nice. Alright, so without stalling much, let's just rank these and then we can move to the power scaling list. So, part 14, where do you guys think it goes? In terms of like how good the part is compared to every other part that's been released. In my opinion, it's probably mid-S tier. It's like below part 3 and part 9 for me personally. But I think it's slightly above part 13. What do you guys think? Part 14, by the way, is the one with the whole Phoenix Man versus Tatsumaki, Phoenix Man versus Boros, and then the reveal of Cosmic Phoenix Man. I say A, bottom S tier, B, mid S, S, high A tier, S, absolutely. I'm surprised with B tier, like, I'm kind of surprised that it would be that low for some people. I can understand A. For me, it's like somewhere in the bottom of S, I would say. Is that fine? Mid S. Yeah, made it early. Hello, one of the gamers. Yeah, mid S tier below part 13. It's yes, I watched it 3 times, not gonna lie. That's nice to hear. So I'll say leave it at mid S, personally. And then part 15, where does part 15 go, guys? Where does part 15 go? Do we make another tier for part 15, or is it just top of S tier or like somewhere here? Where does part 15 go? The chat delay is kind of awkward at times, but mid S to low S is fair. That's for part 14, right? And then super S, highest S, high S easy, top of S, highest peak of S. Okay, yeah. So do we go top of S or a new tier entirely? What do you guys say? Because I'm pretty sure it's the consensus that this is the best part, but is it a tier above the others, or is it just top of S? Just peak S, platinum S tier. Somewhere at S, X tier, top of S, top S, the God tier. Hold on, let me actually make a poll real quick. I think I know how to do these now, so let's do part 15. Alright, I started a poll. It should appear for you. Top of S or God tier? Which one do you guys want it to be? Entire new tier. What if we do S rank 0 tier? Okay, I see what you did there, Juicy. I would not say a new tier. It deserves its own. Top of S, new tier. Yeah, we'll see how the poll turns out. So far, I think God is winning, right? It's got 60%. Hi, Luca Gaming. By the way, if I don't pronounce your names correctly, I'm sorry about that. Cosmic tier. Yeah, I'm seeing God has 60% or 62%. Yeah, so I'll make a new tier then. Our Top of S is making a comeback. Hold on. There's 17 votes with 24 viewers. If you haven't voted, you can still decide where this part goes, because it is pretty close. 19 votes now. Fringe got here. Thoughts on who will take over for season 3 for One Punch Man? I'm not sure. It would be nice to have Madhouse come back, but at the same time it definitely wouldn't be on the level of the first season, because the first season was an anomaly. Like, every top tier animator in the entire industry was on there. So it's definitely not, like, the quality of season 1. It's a miracle if it would come back. Like, it would be an absolute miracle. I don't expect it to be the case even if Madhouse does come back. But I'd say, like, Mappa is good too. Like, they've been doing a lot of good work. I just feel like Mappa is already kind of overworked. I feel bad for the animators. My username is mostly French, so it's fine. I wouldn't think of that just looking at the name. Levert. God tier. Real Shrek tier. Gonna make it SS tier. SS tier. Yeah, SS tier is fine. Nothing top season 1 animation. Yeah, but season 1 was like an anomaly. Right, I'm ending the poll. It's fine. 25 votes of 25 viewers. Yeah. So, God tier 1, but we can just do SS tier. Let's do purple, cause why not? Just SS. I don't really want to say God tier, because it sounds kinda, I don't know, like arrogant, I guess. Goku tier. Diamond S tier. Imagine a serious punch and trashy CGI. Now, CGI is not bad a lot of the time. Like, in Attack on Titan, for example, the CGI is good, I would say. It just depends on how well it's handled. Alright, so now we're gonna be moving to this. So let me just quickly rename some of the tiers. Let me just quickly get the names right. Maybe there's one more tier just high above Dragon, let's say. Let's see, let's look at it. Hello, Ryan Smith, hello. Imagine Emerald S. That's a nostalgia way for me, like emerald armor in Minecraft and stuff. Emeralds are just pure nostalgia. Mosquito tier. S tier. I'm not gonna say the full word. Above dragon. Yeah, that is basically like a character that's above the above dragon tiers, but below the god tiers. It'll make sense when we actually get there. Above dragon. Top tier should be Shrek tier. None of these characters get even close to Shrek in terms of power. Don't talk down to Shrek like that. The down bad chat was crazy. Oh no, don't remind me, please. But for real, like, when people start talking like that in future premieres, I'm just gonna straight up mute them for a while, because I don't want that going on. I'm gonna have to be a bit more strict. Also, I'm lucky that I watched part 15 without looking at the chat. You really are. Like, you really actually are. Star tier after High God? And I think we won't go over High God for now. Alright, so I think we can begin the power scale. So, I just picked some of the canon characters for comparison. So, high above Dragon I view Evolution Water and Sage Centipede. And then a tier, also this, Sairochi. These three I view as being like high above dragons. Mid above dragon would be like Platinum S, something like that. Then, peak above dragons, I would say are Tatsumaki, Perfected Fist Garo, and Armored Boros from the original. I do believe Armored Boros is the bottom of this tier, but you've already heard my scaling for him. Like, it's just my personal opinion that he does go in this, like, high tiers of the series. Just watched part 15 on TV. Oh wow. That's actually kind of sick. Like, I actually kind of want to try that. I think the sound effects specifically, like for Cosmic Phoenix Man and God, might sound pretty fun. With like over a TV, like a speaker or something. Oh god, chat was cursed. It was. High above Dragon Country level. Nah, I scale all these characters to like small planet and then planet, but you know, that's just me personally. I don't want to get into like the crossverse scaling for these characters. Tatsumaki and Boros ship. Oh no, bro, no. Although for real, Tatsumaki and Boros are extremely fun to write together. Cause like, Boros is like the older brother and Tatsumaki is like the older sister. Like, they're both the older sibling for each other. Cause like, whenever it comes to like, human stuff and like, speaking with the Hero Association and things along those lines, Tatsumaki is the one that does the work. She's also the one that kind of helps Boros mentally in the series, you know, like part 11, like the whole pep talk and like therapist session going on. But then when it comes to fights, Boros like steps in to save Tatsumaki all the time. He's like the older brother saving a younger sibling. So I view them more as like that kind of relationship, like a sibling type relationship, not like a, you know, not the one that we are not talking about here. I wonder how strong Boros actually got by training. Yeah, we'll get to that. Peak should be like small planet to planet or something. Yeah, peak above dragon I view as being planetary. Because these characters all have small planet level scaling, and then Tatsumaki just one-shots one of them, and Garo one-shots one of them too. And Armored Boros has some calcs to put him there. Just friends. Yep, just friends. Weakest Boros Enjoyer versus strongest Tatsumaki Enjoyer. Peak above dragon is at least small planet. Yeah, like, personally I view them as planet. But yeah. Bro, you're trying to ship an angsty lolly with the force of purple Cyclops alien with the ability to glass a planet. People do. I don't understand why people ship them so much just from this series. Like, can two characters not share screen time without getting shipped together? Like, what is the anime community devolved into? Or like parts of the anime community, I would say. Don't say siblings, it'll no... Oh my god. It'll only make the shippers more down bad. No. No king in the list is disappointing. You want king on the list? Hold on, let me find king. Let me find king real quick. I know he's in here somewhere. Am I blind? Oh, here he is. Yep. There's King. Cyrochi's moon level. Orochi has small planetary calcs. Cyrochi scales massively above Orochi to the point that she was confident she could kill Saitama, who one-shot Orochi's Gaia Cannon, which scales to small planet level. So yeah, small planet level is like kind of a low ball for Cyrochi. I would say she's more so planet level. Alright, so then moving on, next tier up is above Dragon. Would be like this Garo, and then this Garo, and then this Garo. I'm just gonna put them in the same tier because I don't want to have too many tiers going on, so I'll just put these three in the same tier. And then I believe canon released Boros is around here, personally, like around the level of this Garo. I believe he's physically stronger, but this Garo is definitely more skilled and could out-evolve Boros eventually, I would say. So like, they're interchangeable for me. And like, you can watch my Boros video for that. I don't want to get into debates about it. It's just my personal view on the characters. Then the Meteoric Burst Boros here is gonna be Fringe God. So this is where most people have him. And then Roaring Cannon, I would say low God, because it's like star level in my opinion. Let's not try and mention Fubuki, it'll only make things worse. Oh no, dude. No. King should have his own tier. He does. I don't think anybody is gonna reach High God. Well, some people might, but... Hold on, let me alter the tier list a little bit. High Mid God. You know, it's High Middle. You know, we'll add that. Released as Fringe God, really? No, not released. It's just the Meteoric Burst. This, I believe, is above Dragon. Satori, did you read my scaling? If you need me to put it here again. I did not, most likely. Oh, I can scroll up in chat a little bit. My country and... No, I don't believe this. I believe that peak above Dragon is already planet. These people all... Not people, these characters all have, like, planet level calcs already. These people one-shot them. These people one-shot these people. I think they're far higher than just, like, country multi-continental, personally. But again, I don't want to get into debates about that. I think Canon win Garo above Meteoric Burst Boros. That's fair, but like, just personally, in my scaling it goes like this. Like, you can watch my video on Boros if you want to know why I scale him there. Boros is the first big bag and he's the coolest of them all. Yeah, he is. And Phoenix Man and Godship. What the heck is that? Dude, no. Why? You should make a video about how strong Boros would be if he accepted God's deal. Maybe, but I'm not very interested in that topic, honestly. Then Garo, initial Garo. This is like initial Cosmic Garo, I believe, is top of Fringe God. In stats, I believe he's pretty much relative to Meteoric Burst Boros, but then he's just massively more skilled and more hacked, so he would win in a fight. And then this is also, we can get into these tiers now, Phoenix Man. So initial, he just scales blatantly like above Tatsumaki by a good bit, so he'd be bottom of above Dragon, I feel. And then peak was stated by Boros himself to be able to fight his canon Meteoric Burst self and give him a pretty good fight. So peak Inferno Phoenix Man, or peak Firestorm Phoenix Man, whatever you want to call him, is gonna be below canon Meteoric Burst Boros, but in the same tier. That's like the intent for the, you know, author intent, I guess, from me. Because again, I did have Boros state in their battle that this Phoenix Man could give this Boros a good fight. Not a win, but give a good fight. Do you think Cosmic Boros can beat Anime Saitama? Yes, I do. I do. To be honest. Like, I know it's not a popular opinion. I'm definitely like the biggest Boros hype man in existence. Like I don't think anybody hypes Boros up more than I do. But it's just my personal opinion. You can disagree. Initial Phoenix Man is above Dragon and peak is Fringe God in my opinion. Yeah, that's the scaling. Do you think Meteoric Burst stands a chance against Cosmic Fear Garo? No, I don't. In canon, like Cosmic Garo, in stats, I do feel like they're relevant. The initial Cosmic Garo. But he just massively out-haxes and just completely out-staminas as well, so he would definitely beat Meteoric Burst Boros in a fight. If we really want to be technical about scaling, I believe if Boros went from like planetary in his released form to still planetary in Meteoric Burst, it's kind of a weak transformation. I believe it's like this form is like... Honestly, my entire scaling is kind of shifting. Like, I believe this Boros Armored is like planet level, this released is like large planet, and Meteoric Burst I'm starting to think is Dwarf Star. Because that's, I feel like, more consistent with Saitama and Garo later on as well. And then the Roaring Cannon is like star level. Phoenix Man, Blazing Inferno. Yeah, that's a good, that's a good name. I believe that the only entity that stands a chance against Saitama is God. Saitama blatantly kind of had to grow stronger to beat Cosmic Garo, so I don't think that's the case. Like, currently I think God one-shots Saitama, to be honest. Just because Saitama needed to grow against Garo, exponentially grow as well, it's not just like he got twice as strong or something, he's getting so much stronger that he could one-shot himself from the beginning of the fight and Garo is matching him at first. So, yeah, I would say that Saitama isn't the strongest thing in the verse at the moment. Alright, I'm reading chat a bit much. Let's progress the tier list a little bit. So then, released Boros here in the What If versus Phoenix Man. He is just pretty blatantly stronger than canon Meteoric Burst Boros, because Phoenix Man could give this Boros a hard time, but he was completely getting decimated by this Boros. This is after a month of training with Saitama and with regular training with power suppressing armor. So he would be getting stronger. He would also be getting Zenkais from every time Saitama bullies him. Because that's pretty much how they trained. Like, Boros just spars with Saitama. Saitama takes some of his anger and frustration out on Boros over losing his house and like blows him to bits, and then Boros has to regenerate. And he's like getting these experiences from battle and getting stronger. So that's like my explanation. In terms of stats, he'd be higher than initial Cosmic Garo, but Cosmic Garo would still beat him in a fight. Because he would just copy and outgrow him. And let's re-chat a bit. Cosmic Meteoric Fear Mode, Ultimate Move, Cosmic Rupture Roaring Nova. That's a mouthful, but at the same time that does sound cool. I love Boros. Garo Philophony became a true monster, not gonna lie. Yeah, I would say so as well. Garo just kind of becomes like a tsundere. Like, I'm not a hero. I'm not a hero, Saitama. What are you talking about? And then he's just like making these like silly faces and stuff. And then later he's starting to say like, I will be the evil that like trumps the world and stuff. Like, the tonal shifts with Garo are just so jarring and like distracting. Alright, then moving on. Next up is gonna be initial Phoenix Man. He's definitely in the low god tier now. Like, he went up from peak Phoenix Man, so initial Cosmic Fear Phoenix Man is like around the level of like a Roaring Cannon, something like that. I'd say a little bit below. And then Boros here is slightly stronger than that because he was able to outpace him. But just slightly. He's slightly stronger than that. And I would also say this is where Blast goes as well. Because Blast in the original, he fights Garo and then he's not blitzing Garo. and then for some reason he's just able to like react to serious punches after that. So it's really weird with Blast. Like his scaling contradicts itself because he's fighting Garo, who's copied normal Saitama, and like he's not blitzing Garo, and there's no reason for him to hold back in speed. He wants to get Garo off planet as soon as possible. If anything, he'd be holding back in like raw destructive capacity, not speed. And then he isn't fast enough to save Genos as well. But then for some reason, he's just reacting to serious punches and stuff, which should be way faster. And they're from Bloodlust Saitama too, not just serious. So Blast is really weird. Personally, I scale him to like near serious level, but not quite there. Alright, let's read the chat a little bit. Boros was animated in the first series, which is an instant W, plus he was faster and stronger than any other character we've seen, aside from Cosmic Garo. I think Blast contends with Boros and is stronger. Yeah, that's fair. You should show more sparring between Saitama and Boros. I'm gonna say right now, part 16 is going to open up with a spar between those two. Here's your leak for the next part, whenever it comes. Blast has the advantage of a 20-year war with God. Collapsing Star Roaring Fist, I'm pretty sure, is equivalent to a serious punch. I'll get to that, but you're not wrong. I'll say that. Alright, so I'm sorry if I'm not responding to chat much, because I'm trying to make progress with the tier list at the same time. So I do read a lot of the chat, but yeah. Blast is affected by what I call the Dragon Ball scaling problem, I assume. DB. That's a fair thing to say, because Dragon Ball is also extremely inconsistent. So the next up is gonna be Peak Phoenix Man. He's mid-god. Just like a tier above these guys. Because he's basically just growing stronger all throughout the fight. This is also where Boros with Tatsumaki and normal Saitama would scale. I know I said Blast reacts to like serious Saitama, but the thing is, like, that's more so in speed and power. I don't think he can really match serious Saitama. Like, the intent here is to have them be like this, pretty much. These three, and then Blast is able to react to them, but he's more so a support type character, not a frontal brawler. So, like, these three are kind of relative with Blast supporting them, but Phoenix Man is slightly stronger than normal Saitama and Boros with Tatsumaki. Because he does outpace them both individually. He's great in support role. I assume you're talking about Blast there. Blast by the end will be above peak Cosmic Garo, and he probably isn't gonna be the strongest from the Cosmic group. Yeah, that's fair to say. Boros' version of Serious Punch being Collapsing Star Roaring Fist would make sense. Yeah, that's fine. So then, moving on, next up would be Serious Saitama and Collapsing Star Fist Boros. Because Collapsing Star Fist is basically like a serious punch, like Spira said. Sorry, I had to look at the name real quick. So yeah, these two are just pretty blatantly meant to be relative, but I will say, like, to not piss off too many people, Boros can only do the punch once. It's all of his energy. Meanwhile, Saitama can repeat it dozens, thousands of times, however many he needs to. So it's just like Boros could clash with one fist from Saitama and then he'd get stomped. Like that's pretty much like the basis here. He's progressed enough to clash once with Saitama. Wait, did you add manga Saitama to the list? I didn't, because I don't think it's necessary. Then Cosmic Garo with Saitama's, like, copying Saitama would also be in this tier. Just, like, somewhere in there. or like relative to them. And then P Cosmic Garo is gonna be like High God. And just like above these guys, because Saitama grows stronger than he was in serious mode, and then Garo copies him. And if you wanted to add manga Saitama, you could say he's like a tier above this Garo. So like if you want to, I can just add this, just like high God or whatever. And then have peak Saitama there. And then King is obviously above. Were you inspired by Deku and Aries combination for Boros and Tatsumaki's team up? Yes, actually. I even used a couple clips of Deku for the final showdown. That's a nice catch. But yeah, like, I just find it kind of a good team up. I wanted to have many people involved in the conclusion of the series, not just the big three, you know, Saitama, Blast, and Boros. Serious Saitama can do consecutive serious punches. Yeah. Scaling Blast is weird. Yeah. Boros needs more attack names, like maybe Cosmo Breaker. Cosmic Breaker Fist or something, maybe. Not gonna lie, you're scaling serious Saitama way too high. Me or the chat? Okay, so technically if Boros had infinite energy and he would be immortal and be on par with Saitama with his Roaring Fist. I mean, you could say that, but he doesn't have infinite energy, and Saitama would just get emotional from the fight and probably outgrow Boros and then still be able to beat him. I don't want to piss people off by having Boros be on par with Saitama. Like, Saitama definitely still beats him no matter what, as of now. I just noticed he cut off the thumbnail right before Tatsumaki showed up on it. You mean for part 15? Like this? Because this is a commissioned thumbnail. Tatsumaki wasn't on there. Like, this is just the full image. Like, I didn't have him, the artist, paint Tatsumaki on the hair. Plus, to have Tatsumaki on there, I would have to move the whole image and then Blast would get cut off. So, yeah. Reacting to something doesn't mean you're as fast or strong as something if you're only able to perceive them. So Blast can be slower than Saitama and Boros in speed, but still be able to see them. Thing is, he's still, like, in the manga, like, Saitama and Garo are, like, inches away from each other. Blast reacts to this, and then he, like, extends his hands and claps them together and activates a move, and they don't even move in that time. It's almost like they're going in slow motion compared to Blast. It's really weird. Will we be able to see Blast full power once God comes to the scene? Probably. Based on Christian Kember's video, that means Boros only got over 5 times stronger to match Serious Punch. Scale issue. I'm not, like, again, I don't want to scale like Crossverse and stuff like that. Making Tatsumaki hold on to his hair is funny. Yeah, I think so as well. Like, that was really fun to do. Petition to add Boros attack name Quantum Linear Collapse. I don't think that's something he'd come up with, to be honest. Like, how is he gonna come up with that? In character. Upcoming Saitama is gonna be like Outer Versal at lowest to Boundless. I think that's, as of now, it's ridiculous wank, not gonna lie. Like, I personally have him at max Universal. Just like at absolute most. If you highball him to the highest, I think he's Universal right now. I feel like Saitama's defense is higher than his offense. Could be. Good evening. Good evening, Oka. Sorry for my horrible English, I'm not a native speaker. Oh. Moonbreaker kick. I mean, as a name, it does sound fun, but at the same time, Boros does scale far above moon level at this point, in my opinion. But yeah, that's the scale, so if you want to see the full thing, here it is. That's the scale that I'm going with as of right now. And yeah, I think this is fine the way it is right now. It's possible Blast was holding back a lot to not threaten the planet. I don't think so, because again, why would he hold back in speed? It's the speed portion that's the most contentious, because he just wants to get Garo off planet. If he could just speed blitz Garo, grab him and teleport away, then, like, why wouldn't he do that? He's not fast enough to save Genos, like, why wouldn't he save Genos if he was fast enough to do that? But then at the same time, moments later, he, like, completely, like, outpaces Sirius Saitama and Sirius Garo, so I'm not sure, like, it's really weird. God is already multi and higher dimensional. I disagree very hard, but okay. Damn, bro, just quantum linear collapsed my petition. I'm sorry, like, the name does sound really cool, but I just don't think it's something Boros would come up with. Saitama's multi-solar system MMO, peak, then I'd say Galaxy. That's fair also. It just depends on how you interpret his strength and how the Sirius punch squared, like if it actually scales to them or not. Will he end the stream now or do more suggested scaling or some you make up? I'm not sure. I don't really have anything else planned for the stream. If you guys have any questions you can ask maybe. But other than that, I don't really have anything else planned. I won't be sticking around for too long, maybe like 20-30 more minutes at most. Can you share the tier list in a community post? Yeah, I can. Later. If you want. I can probably share it in chat. This is like the link to the tier list. Yeah. The tier list is kind of messy though. When Boros reaches his full potential, we get a fourth form that's not cosmic. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I'd say God is hyperversal. I mean, I wouldn't say so, cause like your argument that he's like just a tiny touch to Garo, he gained godly powers. Garo went from like being, I'm not sure where he was exactly, but at most he went to being like star, maybe multi-solar system, like whatever. The gap between that and universal is millions of times already. And then you add like, if God gave him just like a millionth of his power, it would still make him like not even universal. God, I mean. So like, I'm not sure. I definitely feel like God as of now is just universal and there is no evidence to prove otherwise. For the moment, he could get a lot higher, but just right now there's no evidence to say he's ever gonna reach that level. For now. God feels overhyped. I feel like he's built up to just be a delusional villain kind of character. Maybe the first monster, like Muzan type thing. Maybe. We'll see. How many Boros would it take to kill a Saitama? I would say like infinite amount. Not infinite, but like in terms of canon, Boros versus current Saitama, who's grown stronger from the Garo fight, I believe Saitama definitely just beats however many Boros there are. If it's this Boros for like the what if, then I could see like 1,000 of them actually doing some damage. But it still wouldn't be enough to kill Saitama, probably. How about a reaction to Saitama rap? Which one? There's quite a few. I have listened to most of them already though, so it wouldn't really be a reaction. Galaxy Wiper Kick? That's a pretty cool name. Saitama is infinite in power. There's an author graph where it says his power is infinite. I'd love to see that statement, because so far I have not seen a single author statement where it says his power is infinite. Do you have a Discord server? I do. It's been linked a bunch of times in my channel. Where Saitama is not infinite. Yep. Where do you scale Armored Boros? I scale him at planet level, as of right now. For various reasons. I have most of them in my, my How Strong is Boros video. Garo went from like continental to multi-solar system. Yeah, and that's a smaller boost than going from multi-solar system to universal. Like, unironically, I think that's a smaller boost. I guess it depends on what kind of universal as well, because like different verses have different sized universes, but still. Besides, you can't go above universal with like linear increases, you have to jump a dimension to get into multiversal, so... As far as I understand it, at least, like, this is, a lot of this is theoretical scaling and like we don't actually know. Where is current Platinum S from part 15 on this tier list? I'm not gonna say anything about Platinum S right now. Alright, I'm gonna skip through a bunch of chat. I'm sorry, but I kinda have to keep up. Maybe if all the Boroses could give their energy to one Boros, I'd say 100 what if Boroses. That's fair. If all of them just like pulled a Broly movie and like, you know how Goku receives energy from all the Z Warriors, it's like that but with like 100 Boroses pouring their power into one. Super Boros God is born. Do you think full power Tatsu can solo Monster Association without Garo? I do, because like she twists her hands and then everybody dies, including Sairochi. Like if Tatsumaki is full power from the start, not having to hold back and getting injured in the process, if she's full power bloodlusted from the start, she twists her hands and like everybody instantly dies. Sairochi included. So, like, I don't know. I think Tatsumaki kinda solos. Imagine Boros and Saitama fist fighting Super Tegan, Topagura, and Lagam. I don't know what that is. Is that like the one image of like a giant mech that's like above galaxy sized or something like that? Because the Gurren Lagam, I've heard the name. Is that one big mech? Pretty sure it is. And Dragon Ball universe is much larger than in most animes. Yeah, it has like many like different dimensions and universes within one single universe. It's kind of wild. It's debatably infinite in size as well. Saitama versus a flashbang, but the winner is decided by if Saitama gets annoyed. How long you're planning to stream? Maybe like 20 minutes, maybe lower. Depends on how active chat is, if I have anything to respond to. When our understanding of multiverses is more solid in power scaling compared to physics. Yeah, like the thing is, it's pretty much all just headcanon and theories for like what multiversal means and stuff like that. Tatsumaki is a glass cannon somewhat, she's physically weak. Actually, she gets hit head on by like one of Sairochi's beams, like the ones that should be above small planet level, and she's completely fine. Like, she has a barrier around herself, but like, all that beam does is like tear up some of her clothing and that's it. So her barriers, unironically, are extremely powerful. Like, if she goes up against somebody like Flashy Flash, by default she's gonna have a barrier up, so even if you say Flashy Flash can blitz her, all that's gonna happen is his sword is going to break on impact with Tatsumaki's shield, and then he's just gonna die when Tatsumaki just unleashes a massive scale attack and just levels the entire battlefield. Like, Tatsumaki is actually OP. Side you still need to add What If Boros Turned Good part 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 to the list on your homepage. Doesn't it automatically... Like, I've added them to the playlist of What If Boros Turned Good. Like, they should be there on the homepage, no? They're not in the homepage for some reason, but I've added them to the tier. Like, they're in the playlist, so I'm not sure what that's about. Cause like, they're not on the homepage, but they're in the playlist. I don't know what's up with that. Now I'm imagining Wolf level threat, spending a full day just throwing flashbangs at Saitama because of how barely important things. Boros from your What If with Tatsumaki versus the Naruto verse. Depends on where you scale the Naruto verse. I'll say that, because it's pretty complicated. I don't want to get into Naruto verse scaling. I do want to do Boros versus Madara at some point though, because I do find that matchup to be pretty fun. Satoru, do you think Phoenix Man will try in this What If somehow to break his limiter? Maybe, we shall see. Webcomic spoiler, just for fun, where do you think the Ninja Village leader would be on the list? We don't know yet. Webcomic and the manga have like different scalings entirely. But if I had to say, probably like relative to Blast, Low God, something like that. I mean, on the list that says What If Boros Turned Good list on your homepage. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. It's the homepage, like, it should be just automatically like the playlist, right? Because like, if you press play all in the homepage, it leads to the playlist. So I'm not sure why it's not on the homepage. Because the parts are in the playlist, but they're not on the homepage for some reason. I've been looking and didn't find the Discord anywhere. I mean, I can link the Discord if you want. It's not very active, but we chat sometimes. Let's see. Just gonna drop a link in chat. Alright, this should be a link to the server. I think Tatsumaki's planetary due to being two one-shots above Orochi, who is small planetary. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Tatsumaki, I think it's definitely planet level. I don't think Boros damage Saitama is in the webcomic. It paints the whole damage statement as in Boros' head. And I don't think so, because like in the manga, it's just straight up like author's statement, so I'm not sure. Plus, it's just consistent with what Boros says and the anime, the visuals, the manga and stuff. Like, you can watch my video on it if you want. I still think it's consistent that he did tiny damage to Saitama. I don't want to get into Boros versus Naruto scaling right now. Would Boros and Garo play games together after Garo realized he's a good person at heart? I just imagine them like constantly sparring with each other. But now I want to do a bonus part where it's like Saitama and like a Boros, Garo, Blast, and a bunch of other people playing Monopoly or something. That could be fun. Just like a Christmas special. Did Kenji/Boros get stronger when his armor was cracked during part 9? I think it was part 9. Yes, it was part 9, and like Boros would get stronger because he's able to release some more of his energy, but it's not like Boros gets stronger, it's more like he's able to release a bit more power, so like Kenji becomes a bit stronger, you know? Boros equals best character in One Punch Man, maybe. For me personally, he is. To be honest, if Platinum has do something akin to killing Genos in this What If, then while he dies, Saitama and Boros won't hold back on him, because no one will want him to be saved. I'm seeing a bit of talk about Platinum S. Platinum S is already doomed and stuff, but guys, wait till the parts actually start coming out to talk trash about my boy Platinum S. He might exceed your expectations, you never know. I'll say that. Hopefully the S-Class doesn't get neglected in the later parts. We'll see, like I'm trying to keep as many characters relevant as I can, but it's not really possible with like everybody, you know? I hope if we do get Platinum S fight, I want Phoenix Man involved at least. We shall see, I don't want to spoil, but we shall see if that turns out. And now there's a debate on whether Boros damaged Saitama. Again, just like if you want, watch my video on that. I don't really want to repeat myself. If you think he didn't, it's fine. Like everybody scales differently. Monopoly. Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like to see those people just playing Monopoly. I hate Metalbat. I've never seen a more inconsistent character than him when it comes to scaling. Facts. Like, him and Blast are, like, very, very inconsistent. What's your personal opinion on Garo versus Saitama? Just how much you enjoyed it? Cosmic Garo specifically. I hated Garo all the way through. Like, the fight is super badass and it has very good moments. But Garo as a character, I just really dislike in everything after he wakes up from Bang's Punch. So like the fight is soured by that, but other than that, like it was a really cool spectacle. I love the design, obviously. So yeah, those would be my thoughts. I don't like the character parts, but I like the action parts. Yes, Monopoly wins. Platinum S is gonna be that guy, I bet. Platinum S God Eater. We'll see. Manga cover was Boros' thoughts. It was not, blatantly. Like, it's a manga cover. It's the author statement. It's like literally showing Saitama in there, not Boros. The chapter cover shows Saitama standing in a pose that's like all serious, and then it says he took damage. Or unexpected damage, if you want a direct translation from a translator. Like, that's legit what it is. Why would it be Boros' thoughts? It's not even from Boros' perspective, it's showing Saitama, not Boros. Which One Punch Man character's abilities would you want to have? I did a poll on that a bit ago. I think this is probably inspired by that, right? So, Child Emperor is definitely one of them, because like super intelligence, who wouldn't want that? Tatsumaki is also really cool, but I would have to conceal them. Like, I don't want anyone just learning that I have powers, apparently, and then just like the government coming knocking at my door. Blast would be cool with portals as well. Garo could be cool if I'm not constantly leaking radiation everywhere. Those would be like the ones. Half of the S-Class gets devoured by Platinum S. Maybe, we shall see. Boros is my favorite character in fiction, and after thinking about it, he might be the closest to a perfect character for me. I think that's fine, because, like, Boros is perfect in the sense that he wasn't there for long, but he was there just enough that he made a big impact. And he was there no longer than he needed to be, and no less than he needed to be. Like, he was there for the perfect amount of time. He was perfect for what he did. Whereas compared to Garo was there for way longer, and his peaks lasted longer, but his downfalls also lasted a lot longer. Whereas Boros didn't really have downfalls. Everyone playing Monopoly would be so funny, we need that. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I feel like Graffiti S would be funny. Monopoly S. In the end of your part 15, you show that some monsters can be redeemed and Platinum S just ate alive another monster. For me, this moment shows that Platinum S is too far gone. Maybe, we shall see. Sage was underwhelming. Yeah, for sure, Sage Centipede was definitely underwhelming. Who's the most underrated character in your opinion? In One Punch Man, it's hard to say. Not sure. Maybe like... I don't know. I think most people are fairly rated. Some are overrated, I feel, but... Maybe like Atomic Samurai, because he gets a lot, and I mean a lot of slander. Like Atomic Sandbag and all that. So maybe him. Maybe he's underrated. The Monster Association arc is way too long in my opinion. Maybe. But for me it's pretty good length, I would say. It was fun all the way through until the end. Like the ending just wasn't fun. For me personally. The government would be a big thorn in your side if you got One Punch Man powers. For sure. Where do you scale Platinum S in speed and AP? I don't scale him in speed and AP, I just scale the top tiers. I don't care about speed and AP. He would be like definitely massively faster than Light and like, I don't know, like country, continent level, maybe multi-continent, who knows. I mostly focus on scaling the high tiers when it comes to Crossverse. Crossverse is like comparing to other universes and other series. Saitama realizing he has been demoted to a plot device in the series. Wait, hold on, it's called One Punch Man, not Depressed Cyclops. Yeah, but, like, look, I hate writing for Saitama, in all honesty. Saitama in general, even in the series, you'll see, like, in the actual series, in One Punch Man, whenever there's an interesting character or an interesting plot point, the first thing you think when you see like a new monster is, I hope Saitama doesn't get to him. Or like, I hope this monster doesn't get matched up against Saitama. Because like, Goketsu, look, he's a cool character. I'd love to see him facing off against someone like Bang. Whoops, too late, he died to Saitama. So, oh, ad came on. Hold on. Bro, YouTube ads suck. In the background music. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So where was I? Saitama sucks. I hate him. Because he ruins every plot point he's introduced into. Look, Goketsu, cool character. Whoops, gone. Orochi, cool character. Whoops, gone. Garo, cool character. Whoops, he's been demoted to a tsundere. Granted, that's partly Metal Bat's fault as well, but still. Like, every time Saitama gets involved in something, it gets a lot worse, I feel. In everything aside from seasons 1 and 2. Like, everything from season 1 onward is like, whenever Saitama gets involved, it's worse. He kills off characters that I wish I could have seen more of, and I hate him for that. And I hate him in this series because everybody wants him to appear, but like, what do you want him to do? Just kill everybody? Do you want him to just like appear and kill every single villain? And like not give spotlight to like anybody else? Like, is that what you want? So like, I don't know, like, for me Saitama is like, I get the appeal, but the more I think about One Punch Man, the less I like him, because I feel like he ruins a bunch of stuff. I know that's kind of the point, but still. What about S-Class playing Mario Kart and King just beating everyone in the game? Maybe. Orochi is underrated, overrated, overrated. Orochi, I feel like he could have been way better, but again, Saitama got involved. If Saitama wasn't involved, maybe he could have been actually cool. Can't wait for Watchdog Man. Metal Knight showing up to do literally nothing, then test weapons and then just get bodied or dips. Yeah, that's kind of Metal Knight's role for now. Orochi had more potential, but based on the manga, he's definitely overrated. Saitama when he misses the sale. Now, Saitama's involvement is what makes the series better. For me, that's the case in seasons 1 and debatably 2. Like, with 2, it's like, alright. But then everything afterwards, I wish Saitama wasn't involved. And like, you'll see too, like, Saitama takes a backseat for most of the arc. He has like 3-4 big moments. Everything else is just other characters, and that everything else is what I enjoy the most about the Monster Association arc, in all honesty. Just imagining Goketsu trying to grab small gameplay pieces of Monopoly. Yeah, that would be really funny. This isn't One Punch Man, this is what if Boros Turned Good. Yeah, that's another point, like, the title character of a What If probably should be the main character. Orochi versus all cadres, no Platinum S, who wins? Probably Orochi, I would say. Saitama was willing to let others have the spotlight. Imagine if Platinum S eats Watchdog Man. Who knows, maybe he might. Orochi has one of the weirdest purposes in a story I've ever seen. Like, have you never seen a character used like that? Yeah, it's really weird. Like, he's built up as this final boss and then he just does nothing and he's actually just a sacrifice to build up God. And then you think he's gonna come back, but then no, he's just gets hijacked by psychos. Do you think your What If series is better than the canon series? It would be incredibly egotistical for me to say that I do. Cause like, the series itself is professionally drawn and written and stuff. Like, the One Punch Man, I mean, like the original series. I do think my series might be better in some aspects, but overall, definitely One Punch Man is better than my series. Like, I'm not like crazy enough to say that my series is better than what these professional artists and writers have done for like the past decade, you know? It's crazy to me that the scaler you showed in your Boros scaling vid thinks Orochi beats Boros. I mean, he has his arguments, I'll say that, but personally I don't buy into them. If you really think about it, One Punch Man's core is all about Saitama versus God. Probably, but at the same time it's the part I enjoy the least. Yet now he thinks Boros beats Tatsumaki, like make it make sense. Does he? Goketsu Drive versus Drive Night, I don't know, I just want to see that. That could be fun, but as of right now, Goketsu definitely has the better scaling. I honestly liked when Saitama becomes so cold towards Cosmic Fear Garo, and at the most of the battle he's just telling Garo to copy him and surpass him. Yeah, that's fair, like he has some cold moments for sure. I prefer your series. I'm honored to hear that, but just personally, I don't think my series is better. Fan series can improve upon canon stories, so in a way it's better, but only because the OG exists. Yeah, I would say so. I feel like some characters are better. Like, for example, Atomic Samurai and Nichiren. Like, I do find it extremely funny that the moment I tried killing off Nichiren in my series, he got brought back in the original manga. Like, I do find that extremely funny. Because it's like, they didn't have the balls to kill Nichiren for some reason, and I'm not sure why. But, like, I don't know, like, for me, some parts could, like, in my story, I do prefer over the original, but, like, only some select parts. Like, only some select parts. Okay, so we just need a petition for this man to get an animation team. Yeah, I would love that. I'm pretty sure Murata stated this Saitama vs. God will be even bigger than the fan-made Saitama vs. God manga. I've never seen anything like that. I'm pretty sure I would be aware if that statement existed. Get the GoFundMe going, boys. Saitama's involvement is the main point of the series, isn't it? Like one-shotting? It is, but it's boring. Like, for me personally. Like, it's good for one season, but like, what do you do after that with a character that just one-shots everybody? Like, personally, I wish they leaned more into the depressed Saitama angle, not the comedic Saitama angle. Because then, you could have this protagonist that's incredibly overpowered physically, but he's suffering mentally. Whereas now it's like, there's still some of that suffering going on, but it's very subtle and like in the background for most of the time. And it's not explored as much as I feel like I would want it to be. So, I do think that like, personally, Saitama would be better for me if he was a more serious character than what he is right now. I do like the comedic moments early on in the series, but later they just kinda got repetitive for me, personally. What if Blast found Boros' body in the ship and helped him? Like, that would be fun. Could be. Metal Knight found Boros' dead body, what do you think? Personally, I don't want Boros to come back because like I said earlier in the stream, I think he was perfect the way he was, and I would hate to see him being ruined like someone like Garo was, for me personally. So, I'm not sure. There's the possibility that he could come back, but personally I really wish that doesn't happen. How strong is Garo currently in your series compared to like Spiral Garo? He's supposed to be like around the level of Spiral Garo, a bit higher, because like he stalemates Goketsu. But he's not like that high. He's like somewhere between Spiral Garo and Monster Garo, I would say. Oh wait, he's Spiral Garo right now. Yeah, he's like a slightly stronger Spiral Garo, I would say. I think it can keep being good if the fights were more personal. Yeah, that's kind of what I would like to see, like more of a character-driven story for Saitama, not just action. Imagine if red-haired guy animated your fan series. Bro, that's one of my dreams. To get him on a project sometime. Do you think that you could make a great story from scratch? I'd like to try, but I can't be sure until I try, so I'm not sure. It would definitely be a lot more difficult than making something with a pre-existing AP. I'll say that. IP, not AP. Would you like to see romance in the canon series? Personally, I'm not much of a romance person, so like I'm indifferent toward it. Like I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not like jumping from joy if I see it. Garo's kind of whack. Why do you heroes always win? Like what side are you on? Kind of. I would love to see some machine gods versus Boros in your series. That could be a side plot, cause like if the organization like creates machines specifically to fight Boros and like test him and like maybe with the purpose of getting like a sample of his blood or skin or whatever and then just running away with it so they can experiment on it and maybe clone it or something, that could be actually really fun. Your series did what Dragon Ball GT wanted to be. I think Saitama never promised to save Garo, he would have just killed him after seeing Garo kill Genos. It's definitely possible. How far do you think Meruem gets in the Monster Association? Hunter x Hunter, unfortunately, is not that strong. Like, at best, you could say he's like Demon, with like the best scaling, like granting him every benefit of the doubt. But overall, he wouldn't really get that far. Background music going hard. It's crazy how red-haired guy makes all his animations on Flip-a-Clip, man. Yeah, it is extremely impressive. Like, I've tried Flip-a-Clip a few times. I've even made my own, like, little bad animation of, like, Hisame versus Madara for a video. But yeah, like, it's crazy that I can do that on a program like Flip-a-Clip. How strong is current Genos in your series? I haven't really thought about that much yet. Like he's got extra energy from Boros, but where he scales exactly, like it's up in the air as of right now. Do you watch One Punch Man on dub? If so, what scene do you think is better than sub? I've seen both sub and dub for season 1, and then for season 2 I've only seen the dub, I think. The main scenes that I really like dubbed are the Boros scenes, because I just love dubbed Boros. Hisoka would love to be in One Punch Man. He would, but then he would get bodied hard, and then he would kind of have to like grow so much to keep up. But he would love to be in there, yeah. I just imagine Hisoka walking up to Boros, and like Boros is giving him his whole monologue of being the dominator of the universe, and then Hisoka just says, nice, let's fight. Bro, I would love to see Hisoka trying to face off against Boros. Wait, is Garo still just in the atmosphere in the What If? Yeah, he is. Can we see a meet and greet, a speech from Genos to his fan group? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe we'll see that in the original sometime. But I think I'll end the stream now, because we've been going for almost an hour. Actually, over an hour. So yeah. Bro, the dubbed collapsing Star Roaring Cannon just hypes me up every time. Yeah, it goes really hard. How far would Gojo get in your series? A friend of mine actually has Gojo vs. Boros coming out pretty soon, so I'm gonna link his video when it comes out. I just saw this Cosmic Garo vs. Saitama fan manga on Reddit where Garo tries to erase the concept of time and space from Saitama's head, and Saitama just tore off the erased time and space from his head. For me, that's a bit too outlandish. Like, personally, I wouldn't want to see One Punch Man go that high in terms of scaling. W stream. I just want to email Red Haired Guy to ask him to make the series now. That would be extremely fun and extremely hype. I wish that could happen. Where did you get the artwork for Human Boros? Okay, I'm not proud to admit this, but I'm not, like, rich enough to pay artists to do my work for the most part, like artwork for my series. The only real commission I did was for the thumbnail for part 15. Most others were AI generated, like Phoenix Man's form for the Firestorm form and the Human Boros form. Part 4's thumbnail was drawn by a human, and then Chandler does What Ifs, I think. And then also I did the edit for Cosmic Garo. What if Garo learns how to exist in space, since he's probably orbiting right now? In that case, his growth would take place. Yeah, maybe. I love the Kenji design. Yeah, like, the funny thing is, too, I was just experimenting with Boros' design, and I think it was around, like, the time when part 3 came out, or part 2 maybe even, when I actually accidentally got the Human Boros design, and then I just sort of didn't even have the concept of Human Boros laid out there. And then I got that design and I was like, maybe I should use this as an avatar for my videos because this looks kind of cool. And then it just hit me later on that, like, no, I can take the series in a different direction. I can have Human Boros be a thing, actually. So yeah, that was fun. What if Popeye was in One Punch Man? I don't know, Popeye. Like, I think that's the Spanish guy. That's all I know about him. Drive Knight versus Metal Knight. Metal Knight for sure, right now. Wait, Sonic and Garo are still orbiting the Earth? Yeah, they are. I've infiltrated the Discord. My dreams of an awesome attack I have a chance to name is slowly becoming a reality. Alright guys, I'm gonna end it here though. Like, we've been around here for like an hour, 18 minutes. That's fine. Like, I think this is a good length for a stream, and I had fun with it. So, yeah, thank you all for coming on, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.